Okay, everybody should be in practice interactive. It's blue and bold. Go that way. Practice interactive. Practice interactive. Practice interactive. You just click it, and it'll make you make a copy. Practice interactive. It'll make you make a copy. Click on that. There you go. It makes you make a copy. Okay, so we're going to review our test questions for our test tomorrow. I will tell you exactly the types of test questions that are on your test. I've actually even written them right here on the board, so you know what all 10 are. Okay? So, this first one, you won't have one like it, but it is getting you used to ordering or looking at scientific notation. Scientific notation must be a number between 1 and 10. So that's the first thing we're going to look at, and it has to be times 10 to some power, correct? Let me make that big right now. I don't need my calculator. Okay, so if I have 6.1 times 10 to the negative 9th power, is that in scientific notation? Yes. It's a number between 1 and 10, and it is times 10 to some power. So move the dot over to scientific notation. This is when, if you have a stylus, it becomes really good, your friend.
You can use the arrows.
Sometimes my dots get like enormous. Okay, we have 18 times 10 to the 5th power. Is that in scientific notation? No, because it's not a number between 1 and 10. Okay, so that is not in scientific notation. Because it's not a number between 1 and 10, right? Okay, so let's look at the next one. 6 times 100 to the 3rd power. It's not times 10, is it? It's times 100, so that's not in scientific notation. You can't have it times 100. And then the last one, 7.14 times 10 to the negative 5? Yes, perfect. So that's just getting you used to looking, is it between 1 and 10, which will help you on the next section like you have one on your test. So go look at the next slide. Tomorrow on your test, you will have a paper like this, like I had last year, where you'll put your answers in, you'll check, yeah, I know I got this right, I'm not sure, ooh, I guessed, okay? So y'all did these last year, you're gonna do the same thing here. See, the blank side, perfect place to write when things change, okay? And you'll put your answers right here only, not what changes. So, if I look at this, you could turn your paper over on the back that you picked up from the back. And you have your number that you could write down. Now, look at your answer choices over here. Those are going to be very obvious. Which one is between 1 and 10? 2.4. Do you see why that last slide helped us? So automatically you know, oh, that's got to go in there. You have one just like this on your test. Then you go, oh, that's where my new decimal has to go. And the other one is at the end. So where am I going to move how many places do I have between my lines?
6.
And do you see how they try to get you? If you count wrong, they have 5 and 7. the numbers on both sides of 6. Okay, so be very careful with that. Okay, the next one is the same thing, but we don't need to look at anything but the hamster, because it says, what would the weight of the hamster be? I'm only looking at the hamster. So the hamster is 0.0625. Look at your first numbers. Which is the only one between 1 and 10? 6.25. So I'd move that there because it's the only number on that side that's between 1 and 10. So that also helps me know where to put my decimal, right? I also know it's going to be a negative exponent. And how many places are in between your lines? 2. So you'd move 2 to the negative 2 power. You will have 2 scientific notation ones on your test. One will be a slide like this. One will be multiple choice. That it gives you a number and it tells you to write it in scientific notation. Or actually it's in scientific notation, you have to write it as a standard form. Okay? Now you're going to have 8 ordering numbers. You're going to have one just like this problem. It literally has dots, except it'll be nice. You don't have to move, you can just click. Okay? Tomorrow on your answer sheet, you would put first, second, third, fourth, who came in first, who came in second, who came in third, who came in fourth. Okay? Now, these people are running. And you want the fastest to the slowest. If you are running, do you want the smallest time? Or do you want the biggest time to be the winner? The smallest. If you're swimming, any swimmers in here? No swimmers. Used to swim. So when you used to swim, did the smallest time win or the biggest time win? The smallest. Keep that in mind. You have one on your test tomorrow that is fastest to slowest. Okay? So you have to make sure you know that. So we're going to put these in our calculator. And if we want smallest to largest, fastest to slowest, do we want ascending or descending? Ascending. Fastest is your small number to your biggest. So everybody go to your calculator. You hit stat enter. If they did not clear it out, just go up and clear it out for them, please. Go up and hit clear and hit enter. And we're going to put our people's names in. So here we go. We have a fraction, and it is a mixed number. So if you forget, look, fraction alpha y equal. So alpha y equal, and I want to hit a 2 because I have a mixed number. So I'm going to type in, so I hit green y equal and number 2. So I'm going to hit 60. Scroll to the right, hit 3. Scroll down and hit 5. It doesn't change, so all is good. I have Elijah, and he did 60.4. And I just keep it 60.4. It's not going to change. So just type in 60.4. I'm just going straight down those numbers. Okay, just go straight down those numbers. So we're just doing these people right. It's much easier to see that than on my screen. Now, I know it's a square root sign, right? So you should already have 2 numbers up there. You should make sure you put your 60.4. I know my square root is going to change. So that is one I would write on the back of my paper tomorrow, because I know it's going to change. And I'm going to hit alpha y equal because it's a fraction. If you forget the square root, oh look, it's right here. Blue, x squared, I boxed it with a blue. Blue, x squared. So then your square root side's there. And it is 160. Scroll down and hit 7. 160, scroll down and hit 7. And I would write what it changed to, 1.807. Okay? And then we have the last one, Joseph. Now, Joseph is going to change because it's going to round that 2 because it runs out of room in that column. But you can rewrite it, but you don't have to because I think you know 60.083 is just 60.825 rounded. You should have 4 numbers in your calculator. Do you see how it rounded that 2 to a 3? Because it's 5 or above, so it gave it a shove. If it's 4 or less, it lets it rest. But it ran out of room, so that's the reason it rounded. Like this one yesterday, 7979, it put as 798. Because 9 is 5 or above, so it gave that 7 a shove. Okay? Okay, now let's order. We want the fastest. If I want the fastest, what am I going to do? Least to greatest, so I'm going to hit stat. 2, blue, 1, enter, so it's done. And then I'm going to hit stat, enter, and they're in order. Okay, who was in first place? Peyton. So you take a dot and move it to Peyton, to first place. Who's in second place? Joseph. So do you see if you did it the opposite way, you'd have the wrong numbers in the wrong places? Okay, so this would be easy to miss. Who is third? Elijah. And who is fourth? I can tell you that's true. My husband's name is Craig, and I promise he'd be last one. He doesn't run. And he would agree. So, okay, so do we see how you're going to have one just like that tomorrow? Now I need everyone to listen because you have one of these today on the next one, and you have one tomorrow. Okay? All this is a between. All that is which 2 numbers come between 16 over 5 and 4.29. When you have a between, you must put them all in. When you have a between, you must put them all in. You have 2 like this on your test tomorrow. You have one that looks just like this, that you do the little check boxes. And you have one like this where it has your X in between your inequality signs like we've looked at. And you have one like this today. You put both the numbers and all the answers and then look which ones come between. That's all that is. You got 2 tomorrow like that. Okay? We did one as a bell run. We did one that we glued in our spiral. And we have done many of these. So do you see? I don't need to put the square root of 21 one. Because you see it's just out there. It's not going to affect which answers fall between those. So we are not going to put the square root of 21. Everybody understand that? Okay, so here we go. Go up, hit clear, hit enter. You need to always make sure you stay on the screen you're supposed to be on, or I always have paper copies. So we have alpha, y equal, enter. And we are going to put 16 over 5 and hit enter. It doesn't change, so all is good. Click on the next slide so you're with us. Did you clear that out? Get on the wrong row. Are you just tapping on top of it? Oh, that's okay. You're just tapping on top of it. You're just going to change it. You're fine. If you want to type on top of it, you can. Yeah, if you type on top of the number, it will make a new number. 4.29. So those are my 2 main ones. Those are what I want to know what comes between. Okay? Now I'm going to put in all my answers. Between, you gotta put everything in. Between, you gotta put everything in. 4.5, enter. Shoo, it didn't change. What do I do with a percent? Put it over 100. So it's gonna probably change. Well, it's gonna change because it's gonna be a fraction. So I do alpha y equal. If you forget that, do you see I have it written right here? Percent over 100. And I put 430 over 100 and hit enter. It changed to 43 over 10. So I would write that on the back of my paper. The next one I have is the square root of 17. It's a square root, so I know it's going to change. So I hit blue, square root, and I hit 17, enter. And it changed. And all the rest will stay pretty, so I don't have to write them down. Alpha y equal 20 over 7 and 3.8. So when it is between, or when it looks like this, or when it's a number line, you're going to put everything in. Just put everything in. It does not matter which way you order it. It's your choice. You could do least to greatest, or you could do greatest to least. It doesn't matter. So what do y'all want to do? Greatest to least or least to greatest? Least to greatest, okay, so is that 2 or 3? 2, perfect. So hit stat, hit 2, blue, 1, enter, so it's done. Blue, 1, enter, so it's done. And then hit stat, enter. Ooh. I don't know if I sorted or not, so I'm resorting. Blue, 1, enter, so it's done. I'm not sure where that 2 came from. When it's little, it's hard to see my screen. Okay, so I am looking for 4.29 and 16.5. Aren't those my magic numbers? So 16 over 5 and 4.29. Oh, I have 2 numbers between it. 3.8 and square root of 17. Good. 3.8 and the square root of 17. So I take my check marks and go 3.8 and square root of 17. You have 2 like that on your test tomorrow. You have 2 betweens. Okay? You have 2 ordering numbers that are just going to be multiple choice. Okay? You are going to have one that will say what is the longest, and then it'll say what is the shortest. I personally would do that descending, so my biggest is on top. So my first answer is on top, and I know whatever's at the bottom is my smallest. Okay? Then you're going to have one problem where you have to pick either the greatest or least, just one answer. And then you're going to have one that's a drag and drop. So it'll say like least or greatest. And you just take your numbers and whatever is the smallest, you drag to the first position, second position, third position, fourth position. That's your test tomorrow. Okay? So you have 8 ordering. So now I'm going to show you what your homework is before I show you what your assignment is. So, when you look at this, when you look at your assignment, this is going to be your homework. Everybody looking? I went to Schoology, I clicked on assignments, and do you see down here where it says Unit 1 Goal Sheet? If I said, open your note spiral to the back to page 1. Remember how we numbered backwards? And we glued that little piece of paper in the back? And I said, that's all you can use on your test. And I didn't have anything on the board. You would have to rely on what you wrote. I'm going to show you what I expect you to write. So from now on, you'll know how to write these. Okay? So tonight, you're going to pull this up. On the front fold, look, it says front of the fold. You are going to write all of this. Then you'll go to the second page. And you'll put that inside. Look, I'm going to put fastest to slowest. Hit a Cindy. Okay? So if I told you to open your note spiral tomorrow and say you can use that page 1 of what you wrote last night, and it's blank, and I take all this off, we'll see who does their homework tonight. Okay? So, that's what you're going to do tonight. Now what we're going to do today, you are going to go back to assignments. Everybody had assignments? And you are going to click the Ordering Numbers Mad Math and open that up. Go to Mad Math and open that up. Okay, we're going to use the page that you picked up from the back. So you're in assignments, you're picking up the page, we're looking at the page. Put your name, first name, last initial, and fourth period. I want everybody to look at that. Look at number 1 through 4. What, out of those 4, I will do one with this class. Out of those 4, I will do one with this class. Which one? Which one? 3? Okay. Let's do 3. Oh, look, it's a between. That means we got to put everything in. Okay? So, if it changes, we're going to write it right here. That's where you're going to show your work. Okay? I can tell you right now, number 2, nothing's going to change. So you can write no change on number 2. But it's a fastest to slowest. Okay? I need everybody focusing. I just wrote on this page. None of them will change on number 2. And don't put the little S. Don't try to find the S on the seconds on number 2. Okay? That just means seconds. Just put the number. Okay, so let's look at number 3. I'm going to go back so you can see my calculator. Oh, I got to get off the screen. Sorry. Okay. I need to clear my calculator. Okay, so we are doing number 4, so we will show all our work on number 4 that changes. And this one has quite a few that change on number 4.
We're doing number 3.
Oh, just kidding, number 3. Just kidding, just kidding. Gosh, I don't think they want to do number 4. What do you think?
I don't think so either.
Oh, before I tell you what I was thinking number 4 has a repeat sign. So when you get to the number 4 that has a repeat sign, you'll write 2828. Okay, that's what I was thinking of 4. Okay, number 3. Let's do number 3. Okay, so we are going to hit the square root of 16 over 2. So I am going to hit alpha y equal into alpha y equal enter. going to hit blue, x squared, 16, scroll down and hit 2. So you should have on your paper 16 over 2 equals 2. On number 3, look, I have to circle number 3, make sure I put it on the right spot. On number 3, you're writing square root of 16 over 2 equals 2, because that's what just happened. Don't just write a 2 because you'll have no clue which one that was. So I just wrote this first number, and I wrote equals 2. I'm going to have to now write 3 pi, aren't I? So now I write 3 pi. So I wrote 3 pi on my paper. I wrote 3 pi on my paper. I wrote 3 pi on my paper. 3. Second carrot top. 3 second carrot top, because your pi sign is above the carrot top and it's blue. Do you see I put second carrot top? Okay. Now we're going to hit enter. And we are going to write 9.4248. You've got to write what it changed to. Now we're putting in all the answers. So, ooh, 203%. I'm going to have to write it. So I'm going to write, how do I do a percent? Over 100. So I'm going to hit alpha y equal 203 over 100. And it stayed like that. And I'm going to write up here what you need to have on your paper, because I think some of you are confused what I expect. This is what I have in my box so far. That's you showing your work. Okay, the next one. Oh, it's a square root, so it's gonna change. Square root of 0.4. Second, square root 0.4. I don't think it did my decimal. 0.4. And it gave me 0.6325. Oh, good, the next one won't change. 9.37. That is the only one you don't have to write down in this whole entire problem. Y'all picked a good one. Not all my classes have picked this one. And the square root of 9 would be the last one. Second, square root 3, hit enter, and yes, it is 3. So all this should be written in your box. Did I put, oh, ooh, I did. I sure did. Second square root 9, because I knew the answer was 3. Okay, so you should have that in there. We good? Now here we go. We are putting it, we just need between, right? Or which is not between? The outside. So, I can order it whichever way I want. Which way we want to order it? 2, okay. So, I need to hit stat 2. Blue 1, enter, so it's done. If you hit stat 3, it wouldn't matter. It's just, instead of on top, it'd be on bottom. Okay, doesn't matter. and then I hit, stat enter. And thank goodness everything doesn't disappear. Now, my two magic numbers were, I'm looking at 2 and 9.428. Okay? So let me make that big. I'm looking at 2 and I'm looking at 9248. Which one is not between those? Which is? Square root of 0.4. See that? See why you gotta write it down? Because when it changes, you'd have no clue which was what. So, which answer is that? B. So you write the letter B right here. And you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days written in that thing to get credit for that. Okay, now I want everybody to put a line right here on number 5, under number 5. A line under number 5. And I can tell you right now, number 5, look at number 5. Do you see it's a between? Put everything in it. Number 5 is a between. You are going to put negative 11.8, negative square root of 20, and all your answers and figure out which is between. Okay, that's number 5. Okay, I need everybody to look at the very last page. You are not going to do this. Okay? But do you see down here where it says put answers here? You will click that. You will put your answers into the Google form. Then you will turn your paper in. Do not turn your paper in until you put your answers into the Google form. Okay? Your assignment is 1 through 5. The rest are bonus. Okay? That means you've got 4 problems to do because we've done one of the 1 through 5. You should be able to finish this before we leave. Now listen, if you think you might miss one, I would make sure I do another 1 or 2. Because each of these is worth 20 points, since there's only 5 problems. Okay? So say we miss number 4, but you get number 6 right. You still got 100, because you got 5 out of 10 right. Everybody see that? Okay. I had somebody last period come to me and go, I missed 2 of the 5, can I redo it? No. I gave you an option to keep going. Do we see this? Okay? So, if you think you're a rock star and you get all 5 right, go with, and you just want to put them in, and then turn your paper in, go right ahead, and you can start working on any missing work, or you can start copying your homework. Got it? Any questions? We good? You know what I expect. You have 4 problems. They should get finished before you walk out. If not, you've got homework, and you shouldn't have this as homework.